Hello, I'm Michael Murphy. I'm going to show you how to switch out a Fortrex with a MinnKota Terrova with iPilot link on it. And I've got a quick release bracket, so I have it set up to where it's easy for me to switch. I can use it as either a backup trolling motor, which is nice, or actually use the iPilot link feature, which comes with a remote and keeps you on spot lock and allows you to run pass on its own. And I will show you that here on another video. But the tools I have this set up to is you just need, standard screwdriver and a pair of pliers is the way I have this set up. So I went ahead and have my MinnKota Terrova up here on the deck, ready to go. And so I've got my existing one. So first thing I want to do is break away this screw here. You can see it. Break that away. I want to unscrew that. I'm showing you this all in real time, how quick this is to do. And then on the back side, if you can see, I've got a lock that is not really made to more so protect. It's mainly in case that screw falls out or just as backup deterrent. So I always put a little bitty lock in there. So got that out of there. So that's all that's going to hold that. Now, all my connections with my cords are done with these Velcro deals that you can pick up from Lowe's or Home Depot. They've got little loops on them, so you can reuse them and collect them and reuse them over and over again. It's always nice to have extra in the boat too, in case one breaks on you. So here real quick, I've got a series of these that you want to undo. Try to remember where they're at. I've got some on the back side here. Sorry if you can't see, I'll give you a better angle. So see what I'm doing, I got two back here. So now, all the cord is free, and then the last thing you want to do is get just a regular standard head, because I'm taking off my transducers, and I've got quite the amount of transducers here. I've got two transducers and a hydrowave. So what you're going to need to do with the front one, actually both of them you're going to need to pretty well take off. So set that back there. I want to get ahead of myself. Talk you through this. And there you go. So now this is just about free. I'm going to climb up in the boat real quick. You can see this. Sorry for the shaky camera. So what I've done is I've got it set up to where there were screws here. I drilled that out, and now they're just pins. So I just pull the pin, little cotter pins. There's another one, and this whole assembly comes up. There you go. And then you got your plug-in here that I had Ranger install a la carte. And then you're going to see right there, I have a 5-way because I have 4 units, and then this will be a 5th for my 5-way hub. So that's going to be there. I just kind of taped it off so it doesn't slide back in this hole. So I have this laying up here ready for my link. It's already connected. So now, this is usually where I'll tell you to get some help. I've done this several times, so I kind of know what to do. So let me get back here, back down off the boat. And with this peg right here, you're going to want to lift this up just lightly to take the slack off. Then you're going to want to come towards yourself. It's a nice snug fit. So this is the careful part, because you don't want to take a chunk out of your fiberglass. So once you get it out, like I just did, make sure it's locked back in place. Grab the foot, which is not bolted down. A lot of times they're bolted. And slowly come away with it. And there we go. We'll set this in the yard for now. And there it is. So now I've got my transducers. This is my bracket. How it looks like with the knot on there. Here's my Terrova. Again, this is a lot lighter than the Fortrex. So it's a little easier, but you still gotta watch what you're doing here. So I'm gonna find the edge, kind of guide it on there, get up underneath there. Take your time for sure, because you don't want to put scratch in your boat. Just kind of go on through there, and there it is. So take your lock right there, take your screw, put that back in, and what I like to do too, just to make sure, you want to check that screw to make sure it don't back out over time. Usually doesn't, but I always like to make sure. Take a pair of pliers, just kind of do a little quarter turn if you can, just to make sure that's good. Then what I do, if I do everything else, I'm going to get back in the boat. And then I'm going to set, this is actually the perfect size, this is a Z520c. And it'll set right down in there just like a regular trolling motor. And then you've got all your extra wires and such. So I'll run that down here, find your Ethernet connection, if you can see it. Now you can see it. Sorry about that. Didn't have the camera on it. So there's my Ethernet connection. Put that in there. Make sure you're plugged up. Find it. Again, this is real time, so the length of this video will tell you how long it takes you. For those who are wanting to run a backup trolling motor and or a Terrova option, it's a piece of cake. So I've got my 2 cotter pins. Run this down here, and these parts, like I said, I just drilled this out. And these parts you can buy. Make sure everything's straight. You can buy it at Lowe's. You don't want to bind this all up. Try to keep it as neat as possible. There we go. Nice and snug. Find yourself a hole. And put those in. There's one. And here's the other. That's probably the trickiest part of the whole deal, is making sure your holes are lined up. So that, I'll put those in a minute. I don't want to take up too much of your time with things that don't necessarily matter at this point in the video. So I'm going to put this back on. Got to be a little tricky with this. Put this on first. This is the one that I mentioned earlier. You may have to, if you're running several transducers, undo completely. And this is the one right here. I'll go ahead and undo it. I probably, if I had a different bit instead of standard, it'd be a little bit quicker. There you go. So pretty much what you need to do is just reverse the process at this point. And you want to watch these little feeders here. You don't want to really get the hose clamp too much into it. So you kind of want to space this good. Don't tighten it down all the way yet, because you still got another one to put on. So I'm going to come over here, get this going the right way. Go ahead and release this a little bit. Tilt it up. Bring it back. And then tighten her up in place. So even on this Terrova, it's shaped a little different for your transducers, but you still got plenty of room. So now you can position these. Now you want to make sure you don't over tighten any of these, so this just tilts about right there. If you over tighten, you don't want to break these transducers. That's good. So now, with my Velcro, you're going to have extra pieces of Velcro you're not necessarily going to need at this point, but you can Velcro. Now keep in mind, this section right here, you don't want to Velcro because it's going to go in the water. So you want to try to bundle. What I try to do is take my extra stuff and I just wrap it just around the wires with the Fortrex on there. No, not the Fortrex, the Terrova. Now if you're wrapping it on the Fortrex, you want to do it, go ahead and do it around the shank, because that's going to stay in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to bundle it, because you don't want to create too many problems for yourself. And you really don't need many. I usually use a couple more up here, and this is going to require a lot less Velcro strips than the Fortrex. So I got another one here, because you're going to need a lot of extra slack there when you go to put it in the water. Okay, so there you go. I got her all ready to go, all Velcroed up. Now the last thing you want to do is just check it, make sure everything works. So make sure your switch is on in the back. I've done that before and forgotten, and sometimes you think there's something not hooked up and you just don't have your breaker switch on. So here you're going to have system ready come on, and then you're going to turn on your iPilot. And what you want to do is just test left and right. Now it's not going to be connected all the way, so you just look in here and that will turn it, and then check your prop, and you can see it down right there. It's working. So everything's ready to go on the lake. I went ahead and put my pins back in, and you're all set, ready to go. That's how you switch it out, and hopefully that helped you. That way you can run both trolling motors on a bass boat. Like right here I got a Z520c. That's a great tool from MinnKota, especially when you're fishing offshore, you're fishing a lot of wind or a lot of current. Keeps you fishing, and then you don't have to worry about boat positioning. So hopefully that helps you, and we'll see you on the water.